Hello! In the following video you will be introduced to the concept of praising. There will also be examples that you can adapt to the context of ESL teaching in rural schools. Did your students do a great job yesterday? Have they been outstanding during today's lesson? If they don't know it, they will not be encouraged to perform well in the next lessons. We know that we need students to be motivated inside the classroom. Otherwise, learning is not likely to happen. Is there an efficient technique we can use to encourage our learners to improve their performance and hard work? If you were wondering, the answer is one, and it is praising. Let's see what experts say about it. What is it? According to the dictionary, praising means to express approval or admiration. However, within the classroom context, it would mean to express positive teacher affect. How can we do it well? Research indicates that how often students are praised and rewarded is much less important than the manner in which it occurs. Therefore, it is not about quantity but quality. So that should be our first thought as teachers. Are there different types of praise? If our aim is to praise well and make it have a positive impact on our learners, we have to consider these different types of praise, which will be explained and illustrated by an example. Global praise. It involves a whole class rather than a single individual. The most appropriate use of global praise is in a class relationship where it is understood to be intended for everyone, to create a corporate feel-good moment. Besides, if teachers use frequent global praise, they avoid the use of criticism and punishment, enhancing then a positive class climate. Example of global praise. Imagine you are teaching a first grade class with 34 students who, as you may assume, are very talkative. You have prepared a listening activity and it went well. So how can you give global praise after this activity? Say statements such as, "Excellent job, you worked very well and you kept quiet throughout the activity," which is very important when we have to listen. This kind of behavior and work is what a teacher expects in good students such as you. Contingent praise. It is given upon observation of a desired behavior to reinforce or strengthen it. Besides, this type of praise works well with children who show challenging behaviors, since it can help them reduce behavioral problems at the individual level. Additionally, contingent praise is a way to communicate important behavioral expectations that are commonly valued in our society. Example: in a third grade class, there is a student who disrupts the lesson and never waits for his turn to speak because he always wants to answer. However, after talking to him and working on some strategies to improve this behavior, he has started to wait for his turn. How can you use contingent praise to strengthen this desired behavior? Say to him phrases such as, "Thank you for raising your hand before speaking." That is how we show respect for our classmates and teachers, and at the same time, it shows how polite and intelligent you can be. Specific praise. It provides very specific information or descriptive feedback to the child in order to prompt thinking for the next learning or behavior steps. Example of a specific praise. You want to praise a 9th grader after a writing activity, but you have to be specific. How can you do it? Say statements such as, "Your work today has been outstanding. Your handwriting has improved a lot since the beginning of the semester, and today in class you wrote non-stop through the entire writing period. I appreciate your hard work." Evaluative praise. It implies judgment and may not align to the values of the learner, and it needs to take place within a trusting relationship. Example of evaluative praise. You're praising a 4th grader at the end of the class, but in this case you praise what you saw during the lesson rather than describing specifically what he or she did. For this praise, you say statements such as, "I like that you cleaned up your desk today. Well done." However, this type of praise may cause students to feel manipulated, so be careful when using it. Aspects to consider when praising. An aspect that we should bear in mind is the age of our learners, since younger students may not clearly perceive the distinctions between praise that is not contingent, specific, and credible, for they are more externally oriented. Credibility. Older students are inclined to conclude that frequent praise for really simple tasks are given primarily to those who need it, that is, those lacking in ability or self-discipline. Children can easily notice praise that is insincere and value praise that is genuine. Let's conclude this video by reviewing some key points about praise. Be genuine. Never praise a job that is not well done just because you want to shower students with praise. Find the good, the real good, and compliment, but don't neglect to fix what needs fixing. Be sensitive when praising and don't do it just to comply. Although it is motivating to hear nice comments from teachers, if you want praise to have a positive impact on your learners, it has to consider different elements such as specificity, trust, age, or credibility. Remember that praise done well can help you build a positive environment within your lesson. It is essential that your praise encourages learners instead of demotivating them. Consider your students' age when praising. Younger learners need a different type of praise in comparison to older ones. If you want your praise to be effective, address their age and intrinsic needs for each developmental stage.